Hello everyone, it's Joel2311 and welcome to an unboxing of the Dell Inspiron 157559 series laptop. It's one gaming laptop by Dell, and I think they've done a pretty good job at it in making an affordable gaming laptop that can fit most needs, especially for video creators like myself. As you can see now, this is the opening of the box. I ordered it from Amazon. And it came in two boxes, the Amazon box, and then there was also a Dell box that was inside of it. This is what you see right now, the Dell box that's inside the Amazon box. It came with pretty much just a piece of random paper. Now the Dell box inside of it, here's a few shots of the Dell box as you can see, as well as some specs that's on the side of it. Now as you open the Dell box, it has this little adhesive at the front of it that you just need to get through, and once you get through that adhesive, it's pretty much after that just to pull up the flap, open it, and then there's this sort of egg carton crate weird packaging thingy that Dell definitely had to skim on the packaging to get such a good price for this. But the packaging, I wouldn't blame too much. Once it gets the job done, it's packaging. This is a quick start guide, as well as the charger are included in the box. It's pretty minimal, nothing too fancy or any peripherals or anything, just those two things in the box. And this is the part that plugs into the AC adapter. And then there's just this little plastic thing to open out as soon as you finish getting that out of the box. That will reveal the laptop from inside of its packaging. And there it is, the beast of a laptop from Dell. Now for the review. Now for what I think of this laptop. The model I got is the Full HD i7 one, which goes for $850 more than the Full HD i5 base model. As far as gaming goes, the i5 model would serve you just fine, but for my needs, such as making this exact video, the i7 really does pull through better. From the 3 months I've used it, I've grown to love it for the hardware and even some of the software it provides. The guts of this particular system is an Intel Core i7-6700HQ quad-core CPU, which is base clock at 2.6 GHz and turbos up to 3.5 GHz. It has 8 gigs of 1600 MHz DDR3 RAM in single channel, an NVIDIA GTX 960M 4GB GPU, a 1080p 15.6-inch IPS LED display, a 1TB 5400 RPM hybrid drive, a 74 Wh battery, and Intel wireless AC. The top of the laptop has a soft touch finish with a cool looking red Dell logo. The soft touch finish can get pretty dirty and stained if you don't take good care of it, but it can be easily cleaned with a slightly damp cloth and a dry towel every now and then. As far as I/O goes, the right side has a mini SD card reader, one USB 3.0 port, HDMI 1.4 output, and a Gigabit Ethernet port. The left side contains the power input, 2 USB 3.0 ports, and a headphone jack. The keyboard and touchpad are probably two of my least favorite things about this laptop. The touchpad more so. The keyboard is pretty bad, not horrible, but not great. It takes some getting used to, but after 3 months I have more than gotten used to it. The touchpad though is a complete disaster, and while this is a gaming laptop, and you're probably using a mouse, it still sucks at being a touchpad, and that must be known. If you're getting one of these laptops to carry around with you, make sure you walk with a mouse. The CPU is an Intel Core i7-6700HQ notebook class processor. This i7 is quad-core and has hyper-threading technology. From my experience with it so far, it runs like a champ for tackling tasks such as video editing, rendering, recording, streaming, and most importantly, gaming. While a desktop class CPU would be faster, this one isn't too bad. The one downfall of it, however, is the cooling that Dell provides for this laptop. This CPU is capable of 3.5 GHz through the use of Turbo Boost technology, but usually hits only up to 3.1 or 3.2 in CPU heavy tasks like video rendering. The CPU does this because it is a victim of thermal throttling. Bummer, but still it can provide good performance. The RAM is 8GB of single channel 1600MHz DDR3 RAM. 8GB is usually good for gamers and will usually run most games with ease. However, if you would like more RAM, there is a second RAM slot which can be populated with more. As far as graphics goes, it comes with a GTX 960M with 4GB of VRAM, which is a good mid-range gaming GPU which can suffice for most mid-range games, but graphics will need to be turned down for top-tier graphics games if you want to pass 60 FPS. The display is a Full HD 1920x1080 matte IPS LED anti-glare display, which I am indifferent towards. The display provides good enough brightness for my use in both daytime and nighttime conditions, and it has some good viewing angles. However, the color reproduction and accuracy is on the bad side, since I can definitely tell some colors aren't truly correct by just looking at the display. For gaming, this isn't a deal breaker, but for video and photo editing, it definitely doesn't help. And if you do plan to do these things on a large professional scale, then this is just not the notebook for you. The hard drive this thing is packing is a Seagate 1TB hybrid drive. I am very indifferent towards this drive since it operates at the slow whopping speed of 5400 RPM. I have many times found that to be a bottleneck in many tasks such as video recording, video editing, and games when load time is concerned. However, this problem can be fixed by putting in a new drive, which I wouldn't wholeheartedly recommend. What I would recommend though is to buy an M.2 SSD to put in the spare M.2 slot, which can then be used to store your programs and games which need fast access time. The battery works pretty well for me. While it does add to the weight of the laptop, it lasts quite a while if you're not using it to, say, render a video. The speakers in this laptop aren't great or awful, but I always find myself wearing headphones to use this laptop. When the speakers get turned up too loud, the audio gets distorted and just does not sound great. The wireless card is an Intel AC3165 dual band card. It gets reasonably good Wi-Fi performance, but I have experienced a few glitches and once even had it outright fail, which required some drivers to be reinstalled. It can be upgraded, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you know what you're doing. I should also mention that this laptop has Bluetooth 4.0 connectivity as well, but since I don't use Bluetooth, I really have no opinion on this implementation. The webcam is a 720p HD camera which provides good quality for video conferencing and can serve you well. It isn't over the top amazing quality, but as far as webcams go, it's more than good enough for its purposes. One thing which I truly love about this laptop is how easy it is to get to the internals. There is one single screw which opens to reveal internal parts such as the battery, RAM, hard drive, and an M.2 slot which you can populate on your own. This leads to some pretty awesome upgradability. The RAM can be upgraded to 16 gigs since it has a spare slot. An M.2 SSD can also be added to the free slot which is included. Plus, if you do really want non-mechanical storage on the full, you can remove the hard drive and put in an SSD. So in conclusion, this laptop from Dell is a good build and has good specs for mid-range gaming as well as video editing and rendering. It can handle most tasks with ease, and for the price of $800 would be a hard one to pass up if you're looking for a budget gaming laptop. As far as a rating goes for this laptop, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10, because even though it has downfalls, these downfalls don't affect gamers, the main intended audience for this laptop, and as well, it has more better things about it than bad things. Thank you guys for looking at this review, and do not expect any more anytime soon.